not much out here on the mudflats. I want to walk further into where the rocks are. I've got quite an interesting bottom of a bottle. Bertie's desperate to go and see his brother, but the mud's quite deep on this bit. As you can see, there's a little stream and the beach is back up there. It's a really nice day, but it's really cold. We'll head over towards the rocks at the castle. So far I found the bottom of a medicine bottle, but I wasn't filming when I did that. Got the crows over here. There's a rook on there. Then all the crows that have been eating things from the seaweed. There's people visiting the castle. And we're going to try and walk around the end and see what's in the rocks over there. But the crows are quite friendly. I don't know what's going on, but the crows have suddenly all landed there. They're all above us. I don't know if someone's feeding them. I don't know if that's a bad omen or not. That's quite interesting. They haven't got nests over there. They've all just landed back down on the wall. Alex, is that because you went over there? They're all on the wall. I think they're being fed by someone, look. Right, let's go and see what's around the end before the tide comes back in. Right, someone's already been digging here. They've probably been getting ragworm for fishing. I don't know if you can see on the ground here, there were lots of whelks about 20 metres the other way, and here it appears to be oysters and mussel shells, all scattered along this bit. But yeah, this is definitely mussel territory. There's a big oyster shell, with some water left in it. Let's see what's around the end of the castle. Just as I put my phone away, I found this. And I thought it might have been the neck of a bottle, but actually it's a bone. So it's not in focus. It's probably like a beef bone. It was wedged between these rocks here. So I'll clean it up. Maybe we can get an age on it, but you never know. Everything just gets bunged into the river these days. So it could just be from last week. And down here we've got an old Coca-Cola bottle. Sorry, Bertie shadows in the way. Coca-Cola bottle and some sign of some sort. That sign's plastic. The Coke bottle's not worth anything. But not many people get to see the castle from this angle. Not unless you come when the tide's out and you're brave enough to be careful of the mudflats. There's some crockery here. I'll get that bit into my bag, clean it up. And then it looks like there's a bit of glass sticking out over there, so we'll have a look at that in a second. So while I was picking that up, Alex found a tile. Oh wow, look! I just saw the side of it sticking up. This is a wine glass. Oh hang on, I think Alex has, that's like a modern wine glass. Alex has got the side of a jar or a bottle. That's like those bottles that they keep ale and stuff in. I do need to keep that. Let me just get another bag. We're here, so this bit isn't too bad if you're ever thinking of coming down. And you're not allowed to legally use metal detectors because it's a historic site. But we're just picking up glass, and as you can see, we've got miles and miles of the Blackness Bay out there. Well, I say miles and miles. It's not that big. Just feels like it when you're walking around. Bertie's desperate to go and see all the plovers and turnstones and everything that's around there. It's really interesting. You can't really go rockboarding here because it is so muddy and the rocks are more just like boulders. But you can definitely find some good things because it is a riverbed. There's so much that's just been chucked out. So this has got an interesting colour on it, but it's broken. I think there's a stamp on it or anything. Bertie's getting a bit anxious because you can see the copper and everyone's going under there, under the bit there. But yeah, let's see if there's anything interesting. Someone lost their tape measure. I mean, so much stuff gets washed up. Car mat, It's such a shame because it does show how dirty it is, and there was sanitary towels and stuff like last time. But it's just so beautiful. And as long as you're careful and you pay attention to the tide times and everything, it's pretty safe. So we'll probably walk back closer to the castle. But at the moment we're just going along here while the tide's still out far off. See if anything's been lodged between the rocks. There's a lot of engineering bricks up the other end. Luckily, because Alex has got ahead, he's done his job for me, so I can see where all the squidgy mud is. Your rubbish never really goes away. This is the sole of someone's Converse. There's so many roof tiles down here. They must have come off the castle at some point. It's a really cool driftwood as well. The river is coming back in. You can see here you'd be completely cut off because there's a little tiny cove of beachy pebbles there, but everything else is just thick mud. So if the tide comes up too quickly and you're not aware of it, you can get stranded around the corner. Being a river as well, it's quite flat, so just like in Norfolk, when it comes in fast. Let's have a look over here. What have we got down here, Bertie? I'd not like to be down here on a stormy night. Imagine guarding the castle, standing at that back gate there with the high tide lashing up around you. Let's see what's over here, Bertie. This is what I'm talking about. Got a liner of a sanitary towel, an old disposable coffee cup plastic lid there, all just washed up along the seaweed and all the sea life. Oof, I would not like to go up that set of steps. There's lots of interesting things, like I said, lots of oysters and mussels on this bit, not so many whelks. Some china, like, you would have thought that was a shell, but there's actually china down there. I don't know if it's been patterned. Maybe there's the remains of a blue pattern on that bit. It's quite interesting, I'll just leave it. Really haven't got the room at home to keep picking up random bits unless they really strike me as being interesting, like Alex's tile he found earlier, which I'll clean up. But here's a good example of what I was saying about the tide coming in. So we're on the incoming tide now by about half an hour, and it's filling up this bit. Oh, there's Alex and Copper, you can see the fourth bridge in the background. So yeah, it's filling up this bit around the end. But if that comes in and then that comes in, you'd be forced to walk up there, and then after that you'd just be on the slimy rocks. It's all good. I thought I saw a bottle over here. Betty, find me the bottle. Where's the bottle? I'm sure I saw a bottle sticking out the mud. Maybe I was imagining it. Oh, there's a base of quite a thick bottle there. That's not what I was looking at though. Wow, look how thick that glass is. But then again, there's some modern rubbish here. So that's nice. That's a kid's plaster that I've just picked up. Beautiful. It's so peaceful though. So last time when it was hailing, we were on this bit there by the corner of the castle wall. You don't realise how much the tide actually does come out, and this isn't even full low tide, we're about half an hour late. So because this is mainly seaweed, there's not much over there. We're just going to start walking back so we don't get caught by the incoming tide, and have a little look at those beachy bits around the other side of the castle. And Copper was supposed to be walking nicely, but because he's so excited, he just keeps messing around. So let's walk back and see if there's anything we missed. Now we're really close to the side of the castle. Bertie and me thought we'd take a look under here and see if anything has been caught up here by the pylons. Closest here to the castle. Like I said, you're not allowed to use a metal detector, but if you see anything laying on top, that is fair game. It's been washed up by the sea. Well, the estuary. Because the River Forth is an estuary full of brackish water, which Bertie found out last time because he decided to try and have a drink. Now he's desperate to try and get in the castle. It's not happening, Bertie. We're not paying to go in the castle today. We're doing this, and then we're seeing our friend Liz. She's got a boat moored here. Nope, just more lovely rubbish. Is there anything down on this bit? Nothing but hundreds and hundreds of mussel shells. Isn't there, Bertie? It's crazy. Everywhere you walk, you're either popping the bladder rack, which is this with little air pockets or pockets of liquid in it, or you're ending up treading on all of these crunchy shells. This big boy here has got barnacles all over it, and you can see the mother of pearl coming through. It's quite a satisfying sound, to be honest, walking across the beach. Can't see anything jumping out at me, Bertie. Maybe some 17th or 18th century jars. So I decided to come up onto this shingle bit. As I pointed out earlier, we're right here at the base of the castle. Get a really good shot of the architecture, all the masonry. Again, there's just so many mussel shells and oysters. Bertie loves it. He much prefers walking on this. It's quite sandy as well. There's not really much here. See if there's anything closer to the walls. I doubt it. Bertie's desperate to go in all the different castle drains, but just look at that amount of mussels. It's amazing how long this has been here. And also all the different types of seaweed you come across. It was mainly bladder wrack down there, but we've got some of this here. Belt wrap, I think. You can just see this brutal scar going between the rocks here. We're not going to make it through. Bertie, it's your size. It's not my size. But it's such an amazing fortress. Such an interesting place to come to. Even if you're not a fan of Outlander or any of the TV shows or movies it's featured in. It definitely is somewhere worth looking at because it's quite unique. And also, it is beautiful. So talking of modern rubbish, come out the sun a minute, we've got obviously a plastic container there, just washed into a corner by the castle wall, and then someone's lost their balloon. Bertie's not that impressed. We're having a look around this bit. As you can see, there's a massive tree trunk over there, because this is another corner. Everything should have got washed up into here, so there are some bricks. There's some little birds, which Bertie's going nuts over. I think it might be turnstones. It's a rock, Bertie. I'm not going down there. He's desperately trying to climb into the castle. You've got the rocks, the same rock that was around there. And they're walking on mussels again, but there are more pebbles. And it feels very different to being down on the mudflats. Oh, Alex looks like he might have found something. Let's see what Alex has got. What have you found? Oh no, modern rubbish.
Salmaster.
Yeah, we'll keep that. It's quite old, but it could be, it's just been in the river for a while. Nothing ever goes away. Put it in the bag. This is what always happens. The moment I decide not to bring a rucksack with me, like I did brought a rucksack last time, we end up getting loads of stuff. But it's just such a shame looking at all the different bits of plastic rubbish that are around here. Oh. Shotgun.
Shotgun shell.
I found a shotgun shell on the other side, but it looked older than that. Put it in there. And you can see here the power of the seas and the rivers, because this is a whole tree that looks like it's been uprooted. It doesn't look like it's been cut off, and it's actually got a massive old brick in the middle of it. And then it's here. It's been in the water for quite some time and then been washed up here. And then we had the other big tree trunk over there as well. That's black, so it must have been here for a while, but it's not had a time to dry out. And it's these little bits here, like all the crevices, we are most likely to find interesting things like belt buckles. We found a coin here before, but it wasn't an old one. Wish I'd kept it. I thought it was a 5p, but I think it was halfpenny. But like I said, you're not allowed to use a metal detector, so you can just find what's literally sitting on the surface. But the river water doesn't really come up that far because you've got gorse and everything growing there. Oh, might be some sea glass here, Bertie. Oh, still a bit too sharp. But this is a really interesting bit. So say if you were having a picnic here, you could sit up on top of this bit because you can see the tide coming in, you know where you are. And then you can just literally sift through all of the tiny pebbles. You can see here there's hardly any shells on this bit. This is all worn down pebbles and a couple of bits of roof tile. So we're just going to walk down there because that looks like quite a good clutch I saw when I was walking past. And hopefully there'll be something else. I think this is the area where I found the medicine bottle on that bit when I walked past. So we'll have another look down there. I've just seen this brick, but I can't work out where it's from. I can't work out the writing on it, it's quite eroded. Bertie's going, are we going home yet? Oh Bertie, you haven't checked everything out. Oh, there's some more of that. I'm sure it's belt rack. Yeah Bertie. Big seaweeds. But if you don't like seaweed, don't come here because there's seaweed absolutely everywhere. I spent nearly 8 years down in Worthing in West Sussex on the southeast coast, and the whole of the beach in Worthing, especially in the summer or after a spring storm or a winter storm, just covered in seaweed. It absolutely reeks. But up here you haven't got that smell. It just smells quite fresh. Let's see if there's anything else down here. I am pretty sure this is where I got the medicine bottle from. Maybe it's a bit further along. What have we got, Bertie? I don't want to get super muddy again, because that was brutal. Look, an old iron brew can. That's how you know we're on a Scottish beach. Anything weird over here? Nope. Oh yeah, that was where I was, because I thought that was the side of a jar, and that was the rest of it. I suppose the best find that you can hope for along here is one that is a complete bottle, like the Dalkeith one I found last time. That's from the 1950s or 60s. Really looking for a screw top one that's maybe been lodged somewhere and not been smashed up. But we'll have a look up here on the beach a bit, see if we've got anything washed up. Lovely face mask over there. Let's see what we've got. We just found quite a nice little clutch of sea glass up here. There's some more here. There's quite a lot. I'm going to stay here for a little bit. And another tree trunk. Much to Bertie's displeasure, because he wants to be over there. We'll be there soon, Bert. We just need to pick this up. Bertie's desperately trying to dig under that tree trunk. I don't know what he thinks he's found. It must just smell really good. What have you found, Bertie? What is it? He's really trying to go under. You've got a real tree growing here. We've got another brick here that says ETNA on it. I don't think we're anywhere near Mount Etna, but you know, you never know where it could have come up before. Blackness, Bowness, Queen's Ferry. In the distance there you can still see snow. I don't know, I'll see if I can zoom in. I'll do another shot for you, but over there is Stirling, the Ochil Hills, and then after that you're going towards the Highlands. But yeah, there's snow. If you can see that over there. And then if you go in that direction, kind of diagonally, for about 30 minutes, that's Cumbernauld. But it's amazing to think that there's still snow over there and the Highlands and everything just waiting to be explored. So who knows, maybe later in the year I might be able to get up there. It just depends. So I just had a really nice chat with Liz and some other members of the Blackness Boat Club. And now we're going all the way along here. The tide's already come in, as you could see on the last video there, under the pylons for the walkway. I just got told of it as possibly some bullets and things from the Second World War, because that was used as fortifications then. Also got some good intel on some other local spots we can check out behind the castle. But for now, we're going to see, are there any bottles? Is there anything at all in this little section? And we'll try and walk out to the point, hopefully. Usual mudlarking finds. We've got a golf ball. You often find them because they've inflated. I think a dog's been having a go at this. Oh, there's a good bit of glass there. Well spotted, copper. That's really interesting. It's the bottom of a bottle. It's quite a thick one. It's a nice colour too. What can we find? There's Daddy out on the mudflats with Bertie. I didn't realise he was going to go out that far. Engineering brick. Some old tile. Lots and lots of seaweed copper. Here's Bertie. Copper's excited to see his brother. Bertie couldn't care less. But yeah, we're just going to try and make it over to the point over there. There's some boats coming in as well to port. There's another dog on the beach, so cue Bertie's screeching. But we should hopefully get some interesting things. Not many oyster catchers or plovers on the beach on this side. Something I've noticed on this side of the beach, there's not that many shells. So there's a couple of limpets and maybe a couple of cockles. But they're really, when you look at the ground, it's not that many shells. Even the beach is more pebbly up here. Yeah, it's mainly cockles and a couple of limpets. Obviously barnacles over everything. But there is not much. Betty, have you found anything? Copper just likes playing in the seaweed. So just as I was saying to Alex, there's nothing. Look what I found. It looks like the neck of a bottle with the way to hold it as well. I'll take that with me. Look into that a bit more. I can see all the birds sitting out there at the point. There's some seagulls here, but I think there is an oyster catcher walking along the shore. A bit too far away. Oh, have a break, have a Kit Kat. Have a break, have a Bertie squeal. I know, what's your brother doing, Copper? So you're wondering how hard it is to spot stuff when you're walking along. This is the neck of a bottle, but obviously if I'm standing up the height that I usually be, you just look down the beach, it can be quite hard to spot. I might keep that, it's pretty interesting. It's definitely mainly driftwood, bits of kelp stem and bricks on here. Lots and lots of red bricks, red roof tiles, and that kind of thing. It's very different from over there. Still find anything interesting on this bit. Well, obviously I have found things, but I mean anything that really catches my eye, like a nice patterned bit of china, coins,